So let's speak about UniCortex. UniCortex is an artificial intelligence layer. What you see right now, it's actually a front end design so that you can see what the capabilities of the back end, the drivers and the APIs that we have are. And obviously you can build your own application, or you can use what we currently have, which is only accessible to brokers, big name brands, and anybody that sells products for the company, which, again, everything that's needed to open accounts, to help visualize profits and growth, it's essentially here. Now, we have the system running on various different databases, drivers, AI models. So all that is essentially, currently used to create what we are about to witness in this particular video. And now I'm going to focus on seller optimization simply because it's currently the best way of visualizing what this is able to do. And with that being said, if I ran a CSV file from seller, the system is going to take everything that's in there and it's going to automatically digest it to understand, hey, this is the best way of moving forward. Now, I'm just going to break this down by parts. We have something called X-ray. X-ray allows the person that's presenting or selling or whatever the case to essentially understand the micro details of what led to what is being shown in the previous view, which is, a lot more uh, simplified. This is extremely, broken down to the details and what's being done. What is currently being used to create a lane from one warehouse to the other one. How we're essentially analyzing which warehouse facilitates inventory versus the other one, and so on. So the enrichment of data is just massive, right? Now, when it comes to the seller optimization, when we create a plan, we're essentially saying to the e-commerce seller, hey, this is a better way of handling your business. And when they do opt in into that option and they approve it, whatever party it's involved in that strategy, right? The LTL companies, the warehouses, and any other party involved, it's essentially automatically approved into that, and their job is actually split into whatever inventory, whatever time frame of fulfillment, et cetera, needs to be done so that the fulfillment of the inventory it's properly handled for the client. Now we have essentially breakdowns as of the FBA family. We can handle that currently for 40 cents based on data from our warehouses. And then if we move them into the FBM structure, the multi-warehouse optimization is essentially breaking down how we're able to handle inventory for them, taking in consideration that there are 6 products, right? Every product has a different break even, different numbers based on what we understand from what's happening on the internet, on Amazon and other platforms, and we're able to forecast what we recommend the seller to send versus what they have. So if there's any let's say lack of inventory and we find the pattern and we understand that the client is just not sending enough inventory, the system is going to adjust the number as it did in this case, right? Originally, this client had 1,932 units, right? This is what they sold. And this is how the inventory breaks down. And then based on patterns of sales and other things, we adjusted the plan so that the user, the seller, it's essentially now focused on sending slightly over 4,300 units. And doing this adjustment is going to lower a lot of different things for them that will essentially increase their profits, right? That optimizes how we are able to essentially do the transfers from warehouse to warehouse, and how we can optimize pricing for pick, pack, storage, et cetera, et cetera. So it breaks down to what we are currently witnessing. It's a lot of data, obviously. So when it comes to the amount of data that you see, what happens is that it's something that you got to practice, learn, and we're gonna be doing training for partners that are gonna be representing the technology. Now, when it comes to a seller, this is the way we bring sellers into our network. When we bring a seller, the clients that are connected to our warehouse management software, and also the TMS software, are the ones that are essentially part of how we handle the inventory. This is how we communicate with them and how we are able to categorize and understand what's available, what's not available, if a space is accessible in a facility versus another one, rate shopping. All of these things are essentially broken down to the specifics of what you see. This is how we currently break down, FBM versus FBA. Everything is essentially just detailed so that um, we are able to understand the numbers, right? Understand the deltas, understand the potential of growth, understand why we're selecting each warehouse, right? Essentially, we're rate shopping one warehouse versus the other one, whichever is lower, essentially keeps that state for doing delivery. And this is how it breaks down. So we're using a bunch of intelligence. We're also able to understand tax nexus. We're not an accounting firm, but we have base information on that, right? In this case, we're using a warehouse in Montana and then another one in New Jersey. And the one in Montana drives $600 annual documentation, which is to, essentially comply with the state regulations to sell within that state. And these are the little things that, again, we're bringing into the industry. This is how we're auditing e-commerce sellers, bringing them into our network. This is how we can essentially audit leaks for pick and pack, shipment rates, and a bunch of other things. It all happens from this system, which essentially does the work that a human will take a lot of time to do, right? We also break down things by seasons, and find the patterns there. So again, a lot of intelligence is being put into this, so that we can, win accounts. This is how we're bringing accounts into the network. The next video that I'll send is gonna speak about the warehouse optimization and this workflow, which is much more powerful. This is gonna audit warehouses, right? Their activity and find discrepancies, highlight it. And doing so, again, it allows us to sell our technology to them. That can be the TMS operations, the WMS system, the OMS, which is how we are actually upgrading these e-commerce sellers, right? The e-commerce seller is now going to be upgraded to use our OMS. That's how we monitor their activity and match it versus what we currently have in the warehouse. So a lot of enrichment of data, a lot of growth, a lot of potential there. And we're just fine tuning things and making it the best possible.